Hello students, this video is about lateral ventricles. Okay, in my previous video I have talked little bit about lateral ventricles, but in this video I will give detailed explanation of lateral ventricles. This is a very important topic exam point of view. Now, each cerebral hemisphere has lateral ventricle. So this is the one cerebral hemisphere. Okay, suppose we take, so there are two cerebral hemispheres. You can see here, there are two cerebral hemispheres which are, a cerebrum is cut by longitudinal fissure into two halves, the right and the left. So there is two cerebral hemispheres and these are the lateral ventricles. So each cerebral hemisphere has lateral ventricles. So there are two lateral ventricles for each cerebral hemisphere. Right lateral ventricle and left lateral ventricle. Okay. So each cerebral hemisphere has lateral ventricle. Roughly it is C-shaped. Okay. It is C-shaped. Clear? So there are two lateral ventricles for each cerebral hemisphere, right and left. It is roughly C-shaped. Okay. It wraps around the thalamus, lentiform nucleus and caudate nucleus. So it wraps around itself. Okay. Around the thalamus, the lentiform nucleus, okay, and the caudate nucleus. Now, as you all know, in my previous video, I said that the lentiform nucleus and the caudate nucleus, okay, it forms corpus striatum. Okay, so lateral ventricle, it wraps around the thalamus. This is the thalamus and the caudate nucleus and lentiform nucleus. This both nuclei together form corpus striatum. Okay. So lateral ventricle wraps around the thalamus and lentiform nucleus, and caudate nucleus. It wraps around this structure. Okay. Regarding thalamus, please go through my previous video on the thalamus and the hypothalamus and epithalamus. Okay. So lateral ventricle, it wraps around the thalamus, caudate and the lentiform nucleus. Caudate and lentiform nucleus together form corpus striatum. Okay. And this lateral ventricle is lined by ependyma. Okay. These ventricles, okay, these are the lateral ventricles, right and left. This is one cerebral hemisphere. Okay. So this is lined by ependyma. This is ependymal cells. Okay. And this ependyma secrete CSF. Okay, it is filled with CSF. Okay, so lateral ventricles are filled with CSF. Basically, they are empty cavities which are present in the brain. Okay, and it is filled with CSF, that is cerebrospinal fluid. So, these are the ventricles which are filled with CSF. The capacity of lateral ventricle is 7 to 10 ml. Okay, so 7 to 10 ml is the capacity of the lateral ventricles. Okay. Now, two lateral ventricles are separated by a septum which is known as septum pellucidum. Okay. So there is presence of septum pellucidum which separates the two lateral ventricles. Septum means, what is a septum? Septum is a partition. So there is right cerebral hemisphere, left cerebral hemisphere. Each hemisphere is having right lateral ventricle and left lateral ventricle. Okay, and they are separated. How the two cerebral hemispheres are separated by corpus callosum. Similarly, two lateral ventricles are separated by a septum called a septum pellucidum. Okay, so see, this is a diagram of septum pellucidum. Okay, this is a corpus callosum. Okay, here would be the epithalamus, thalamus, then the hypothalamus. Okay, here this is the hippocampus. Now the septum pellucidum, separates the two lateral ventricles. This is septum pellucidum. It's a partition. Okay. Now what is septum pellucidum? Septum pellucidum is thin vertical sheet of nervous tissue. Now this also consists of neurons. It consists of nervous tissues. Yes. So this septum pellucidum, it's a thin vertical sheet of nervous tissue. It is a sheet of nervous tissue which separates the two lateral ventricles, and it consists of grey and white matter. Okay, it consists of grey and white matter. This is septum pellucidum. Okay, so two lateral ventricles are separated by a septum called septum pellucidum. Septum pellucidum is a thin vertical sheet of nervous tissue, consists of grey and white matter. Now this is covered on either side by ependyma. Okay, so it is septum is also lined by ependyma. The two lateral ventricles are also lined by ependyma. Now each lateral ventricle communicates with the third ventricle through the interventricular foramen of Monro. Okay, now the lateral ventricle is in communication with the third ventricle. Okay, the lateral ventricles is in communication with the third ventricle through interventricular foramen or foramen of Monro. Okay, this also I have shown you in my previous video. So these are the lateral ventricles, and this lateral ventricle, this is the third ventricle, and interventricular foramen connecting the lateral and the third ventricle. This is known as foramen of Monro. Okay, so it is known as the foramen of Monro. Okay, so lateral ventricles is in communication. This is the diagram. This is the lateral view of the lateral ventricle. Okay, this is the anterior view. This is the interventricular foramen. You can see this is the interventricular foramen. Foramen means its opening, and this is the third ventricle. Okay, so the lateral ventricle is in communication with the third ventricle through this foramen, which is known as the interventricular foramen. Interventricular foramen. Clear? So lateral ventricles in communication with the third ventricle through the interventricular foramen. Very, very important this is for MCQ point of view, for your oral exams. Okay. Now, lateral ventricles contains choroid plexus. Now this lateral ventricle, it consists of choroid plexus. Okay, these are the choroid plexus which are present in the lateral ventricle. Now this choroid plexus are the vascular folds. Okay, it's a folds of vessels. Okay, this choroid plexus, and this plexus helps in secretion of CSF. You can see it helps in secretion of cerebrospinal fluid, and it flows through the ventricles. So from lateral ventricle the fluid will go to the third ventricle. Okay, see, if you see the direction of flow, choroid plexus from CSF coming, then from lateral ventricle it goes to the third ventricle, then to the fourth ventricle, and then goes down to the central canal. Okay, and then reaches the spinal cord. Okay, so this lateral ventricles contains the choroid plexus. Very, very important this is. Okay, this was about the lateral ventricles. Now we'll go to the parts of the lateral ventricles. What are the parts of the lateral ventricle? There are four parts: central part or body, anterior horn, posterior horn, and the inferior horn. So there are four parts: central part or the body, the anterior horn, the posterior horn, and the inferior horn. Okay, so these parts of ventricles are very, very important for exam point of view. So if you see this is the lateral ventricle, lateral view. This is the central part. Okay, there are four divisions or parts for easy understanding of the ventricles. So this is the central part or body. This is the anterior horn. This is the posterior horn, and this is the inferior horn. Okay, this is the lateral view. Now we will study each horn of the lateral ventricles, or each part of the lateral ventricle in detail. So this is anterior horn, this is the inferior horn, this is the posterior horn, and this is the central part or the body. So these are the parts of the lateral ventricle. So these are the parts of the lateral ventricle. Very, very important. Anterior, central, posterior and inferior. Clear? So here is the, you can see interventricular foramen. Okay, this is the foramen which connects the lateral ventricle with the third ventricle. Yes, it is easily seen. And this lateral ventricle then connects with the fourth ventricle with the help of cerebral aqueduct. Okay, this also I have explained or talked about in my previous video. So lateral ventricles in communication with the third ventricle via the interventricular foramen, and the third ventricle is in communication with the fourth ventricle through cerebral aqueduct. Okay, now we'll talk about the first part, that is the central part we'll talk about, that is the body of the lateral ventricle. We'll talk about the body of the lateral ventricle. Clear? Now this body is within the parietal lobe. Now you all know there are lobes which are present in the cerebrum. Okay, that is frontal, parietal, occipital and temporal. So this central part, okay, this central part is present in the parietal lobe. Okay, in front of the central part, this is the body. So in front you can see, what is, you can see interventricular foramen. Yes, in front. Okay, in front there is interventricular foramen, and posteriorly is the splenium of corpus callosum. Okay, and posteriorly is the splenium of corpus callosum. Now if you take corpus callosum, okay, you know what is corpus callosum? It's a sheet of nervous tissue. Yes, it is a sheet of nervous tissue that separates, it's a connection between the two cerebral hemispheres. So that is the corpus callosum. Now this corpus callosum has various parts in it. Okay, this corpus callosum has various parts. Anteriorly there is genu. Okay, anteriorly there is genu. You can see here, anteriorly there is genu, then there is trunk, and then posteriorly there is splenium. So most anteriorly is genu and posteriorly is splenium of corpus callosum. Just remember this right now. Corpus callosum, there are various parts. Okay, so this is the genu, this anterior part, and posterior part is the splenium. Yes, posteriorly is the splenium and anteriorly is the genu. So if we take the central part, okay, the central part, that is the body of the lateral ventricles. So you can see easily in the front there is interventricular foramina, and back side would be the splenium of the corpus callosum. Now suppose this is the corpus callosum, this is the corpus callosum. The posterior part is the splenium of the corpus callosum, which I shown you right now in the diagram. So anteriorly would be interventricular foramen and posteriorly is the splenium of the corpus callosum. Okay, splenium of the corpus callosum, that is the posterior part of the corpus callosum. Now we'll see the presenting parts, that is of the, we are talking right now about the central part or the body of the lateral ventricle. Okay, if we take the coronal section, okay, what is the coronal section? The coronal section, what is the coronal section? It's a coronal plane divides the brain into the anterior and the posterior portion. So that is the coronal section. Now we are taking the lateral ventricles and we are cutting it on a coronal plane. So it will divide the ventricles into anterior and posterior portion. It is created by slicing the brain parallel to the long axis of the body, and it thus perpendicular to the floor in a person that is upright. Okay, so this is, the person is standing perpendicular and we are slicing the brain parallel to the long axis. So it will divide the brain into anterior and posterior portion. So when a part is divided into anterior and posterior, that is the coronal plane. This is the basic of general anatomy. Okay, this comes in the basic of general anatomy. So now we are taking the coronal section through the central part. Okay, now when we take the coronal section, we are taking this is the central part, this is the lateral view. Now we are taking the coronal section of this central part of the lateral ventricle. Now what we'll see in the coronal section, this lateral ventricle is triangular in shape. It will become triangular in shape. Clear? So it is triangular in shape. Okay? So if we take the central part, okay, we are taking the central part, and if we are cutting it, we are cutting the central part, it is triangular in shape. Okay? Coronal section is triangle. Now it has the roof, floor and medial wall. It will have the roof, floor and medial wall. Okay, the roof, floor and the medial wall. Okay, so now this is the section. Now we'll see the roof. The roof is under surface of the body of corpus callosum. Okay, the roof is the under surface of the body of corpus callosum, and from lateral to medial side there will be the body of caudate nucleus. Okay, that is caudate nucleus, then stria terminalis. Okay, and the thalamostriated vein, the upper surface of the thalamus, the choroid plexus. Okay, the choroid plexus, and the upper surface of the body of the fornix. Okay, this is the upper surface of the body of the fornix. Medial wall will be septum pellucidum. The medial wall is the septum pellucidum. Okay, now what I said, in front, that is in front is the, if we take the corpus callosum, the central part, in front is the interventricular foramen and backside is the splenium. So if I take this way, okay, this is the view, this is the central part. So in front is the interventricular foramen and behind is the splenium of the corpus callosum. Okay, this is the central part. Now I am cutting this part by a coronal section. Okay, I am cutting this part by a coronal section. So when I am cutting this part by a coronal section, it will give triangular shape. So this is the body. When I am cutting the body by coronal section, it is triangular in shape. So it will have the roof, floor and the medial wall. Okay, it will have the roof. This is the central part of the corpus callosum. Okay, now this is having the roof, the floor and the medial wall. Clear? Now we'll take the roof. The roof is the under surface of the body of corpus callosum. So this is the body of corpus callosum. Okay, the roof. Okay, this is the body of the lateral ventricle, coronal section. Okay, so when I am taking the roof is formed by the under surface of the body of the corpus callosum. This is the roof. Okay, the floor, it is by from lateral to medial. The floor is formed by the body of the caudate nucleus, stria terminalis, thalamostriated vein, the choroid plexus, okay, and the upper surface of the body of fornix. Okay, so the roof, that is the top, is formed by the under surface or the lower surface of the corpus callosum, the top, and the floor is formed from medial to from lateral to medial. It is formed by the body of caudate nucleus. Okay, it is formed by the body of caudate nucleus, stria terminalis and thalamostriated vein. Okay, then it is formed by the thalamus, that is the upper surface of the thalamus, most lateral part, It is formed by the choroid plexus, okay, and the upper surface of the fornix. And the medial wall is formed by the septum pellucidum. Okay, so the medial wall is formed by the septum pellucidum. So if you take, this is the medial wall, it is formed by the septum pellucidum. Obviously most medially would be the septum pellucidum because it is the partition between the two lateral ventricles. So this diagram is very, very important. Okay, so lateral ventricle, the central part, when I am cutting in coronal section, it has the roof, the floor and the medial wall. Medial wall is formed by the septum pellucidum. Okay, the medial wall is formed by the septum pellucidum. The roof is formed by the lower surface of the body of corpus callosum, roof, the top. And the floor from lateral to medial, it consists of body of caudate nucleus, striate terminalis, thalamus striate vein, choroid plexus, fornix, thalamus, okay, that upper surface of the thalamus. Okay, so this is from lateral to medial. Okay, and most medial wall is the septum pellucidum. Most medial is the septum pellucidum. Okay, so this was about the central part of the lateral ventricle, or the body of the lateral ventricle. Now the fornix. What is the fornix? Fornix is a C-shaped bundle of nerve fibers in the brain. Right now I spoke about the upper surface of the body of the fornix. Now what is fornix? Fornix is a C-shaped bundle of nerve fibers in the brain that acts as a major output tract of hippocampus. Okay, so it's a bundle of nerve fibers, C-shaped nerve fibers in the brain. Okay, it also carries some afferent fibers to the hippocampus from structures in the diencephalon and forebrain. The fornix is a part of the limbic system. Okay, so fornix is also forming the floor. Okay, the floor of the central part of the lateral ventricle. Okay, so this is, if you see, this is the fornix. You can see this is the septum pellucidum, this is corpus callosum, this is the fornix. Okay, so this is the fornix, and this fornix is the C-shaped bundle of nerve fibers in the brain. Okay, we'll continue about the lateral ventricle in my next video. Thank you, students.